She was texting you every day, laughing at everything you said, making you feel like the most interesting person in her world. And then, nothing. Not a fight, not a reason, just distance. Like a switch flipped overnight and you're standing there trying to figure out what you did wrong. Here's the thing. You probably didn't do one big thing wrong. You did something much harder to see. If this feels a little too accurate right now, subscribe. Because what's actually happening beneath this situation goes much deeper than most people ever realize, and understanding it will change how you see everything. Let's start with what you think happened. You think she lost interest. Maybe she found someone else? Maybe you said something off. You've been running through the timeline in your head, frame by frame, trying to find the moment it broke. And you can't find it. Because it wasn't one moment. It was a slow shift. And it started the moment she felt completely sure of you. Here's the part no one tells you. Attraction is not a feeling that grows with certainty. It grows with uncertainty. Not games, not manipulation, but the natural tension that exists when two people are still figuring each other out. That tension is electric. It creates curiosity. It creates anticipation. It makes her think about you when you're not around. But the moment that uncertainty disappears, the moment you're always available, always responding within seconds, always making it clear that she is the center of your attention, something changes. The tension drops. And when the tension drops, so does the pull. You didn't become less attractive. You became predictable. And the human brain, her brain, your brain, everyone's brain, is wired to stop paying attention to anything it can fully predict. This is where it gets dangerous. Because most guys, when they feel her pulling away, do the exact opposite of what the situation needs. They close the distance, they check in more. They send the follow-up message. They perform harder and louder, trying to remind her why this is worth her attention. And every single one of those moves confirms her instinct to pull back further. She's not pulling away because she stopped caring. She's pulling away because something in the dynamic shifted, and her nervous system is responding to that shift before her conscious mind can even name it. Most guys get this completely wrong. They think more effort fixes it. If you want to understand what they miss, what actually moves the needle here, subscribe, because the counterintuitive truth of what to do next is not what you've been told. Now here's the psychological layer most people never reach. When a woman pulls away, she's rarely doing it consciously. It's not calculated. It's not revenge. It's emotional self-regulation in response to a feeling she can't quite articulate. And that feeling? It usually sounds like this deep inside. Something feels different. He used to have his own world. Now I feel like I'm the whole world. And that's too much pressure. And it's also less interesting. Harsh? Maybe. True. Almost always. Here's the pattern interrupt that reframes everything. She didn't pull away because you cared too much. She pulled away because you stopped being someone with a life that existed independently of her. Think about early on. You had edges. You had things going on. You didn't always respond immediately. Not because you were playing a game, but because you were genuinely living. And that version of you had gravity. She orbited it naturally because she wasn't sure where she stood. And that uncertainty made her want to close the distance. Then, comfort arrived. And you softened every edge. And the gravity weakened. This is the realization that's uncomfortable to sit with, and the one that actually matters. She didn't change. The dynamic changed. And the dynamic changed because you unconsciously restructured your life around her approval before she had done the same for you. You gave away the tension that was holding everything together. And you did it not out of weakness, but out of something most people would call genuine feeling. That's the cruelest part of this. The very thing that caused it was real. But here's what's on the other side of that understanding. And this is where the perspective completely flips. You cannot chase this back. You cannot message your way back to that early tension. You cannot explain or perform your way back to interesting. You can only become it again, not for her, not as a strategy. Because a man who is genuinely busy, genuinely grounded, genuinely unshaken by a woman pulling away, that man doesn't read articles trying to decode her behavior. He already knows what she's responding to. And so do you now.